the y-axis, and in y-axis, suppose there is some negative points, then you truncate it, make it small, you cut that off, and then you show. Then what happens? You are altering the graph. You are not showing the right thing to the customers. Now, many a times it so happens, we often see these advertisements on what you say, televisions and all. Now they use lot of chemicals in soaps or anything for that matter. Now, do they show us the side effects? No. Like, for example, smoking, let us say. Nowadays, because the organization, the authorities have come very heavily on them, they write that smoking is injurious to health. But still, they show smoking in such a way that it is something nice to do. Okay, so this type of manipulations can happen. Consider a scenario where a company wants to present its sales performance over the past 5 years. Okay, so 5 years they want to show us sales. The actual sales figures are relatively stable, only with minor fluctuation years over year. To create a more dramatic effect, the company manipulates the scale of the y axis in their bar graph. Now, look at this. This is the example. Original data in millions, first year 50, second year 51, third year 52, fourth year 50.5, and fifth year 51.5. So, what it does, these are the sales. Okay, these are the sales. Okay, it shows in ethical sales graph will look something like this, that you are having a small difference over here, and they want to visualize this. Okay, and ethical visualization, the y-axis would start at 0 and accurately represent the sales figure. In graph, the minor fluctuations in sales can correctly depicted, showing that the sales figures have been relatively stable over the 5 years. So what are you doing? You are not taking it at 0. You are taking it as 50, and you are showing that it is stable between 50 to 52. Okay. So what is does now, when you see these graphs, you can show that it is trying to show that yes, in certain years you had changes, but you are not showing the ethical graph that is exactly starting with 0. You're showing that it starts from 50 to 50.1. One second, huh? 1 second. Let me just see who is this calling me. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll continue. So what it does is it tries to show you the manipulation. So you can see that, of course, this graph also does not show you much difference, but then there is a small change you can see here. Okay, but this will try to show you that you are starting from 50, and you'll say, oh, it is between 50 to 52. That is what we are actually having our sales figure. So this way misleading figures can be there. This is a very simple misleading figure which I have shown you. Then there is ethical visualization. The y-axis starts from 0. The sales representation is represent accurately and correctly, showing minor fluctuations. But in the manipulated, the y-axis starts at 50, and it really truncates the lower part of the scale. That is what it does. It truncates, and it says that, okay, see, this is the sales of that company. They are having very, now look at this graph and look at this graph. How you can see that there is lot of difference, and you'll say that, oh, this is having such a sales problem. Okay, which is actually not so. Okay, so people try to depict this in a wrong way. Okay, so in the manipulated, it starts at y-axis, significantly truncating the lower part. The same sales data now appears to have dramatic changes, misleading viewers into thinking that there is significant fluctuation. You just look at these two graphs. Anybody say, oh, there's so much of sales gap here, and in the ethical sales value there is nothing much. So this is how people show their opponent company, saying that, see, this is how they have lot of sales drop, and we have more better sales. Impact of the scale manipulation is, this example demonstrates how altering the scale graph can mislead viewers by exaggerating or downplaying findings. It is essential to maintain an appropriate scale in data visualization to ensure that the data is represented accurately and ethically, allowing viewers to make informed decisions based on truthful information. Tomorrow, all of you all will be working with a huge amount of data. So always remember, what is ethical is what you have to show. You have to show the graph correctly, that this is the graph. Let the customers, or let your people who are actually going to be viewers, let them take a right decision of what is required. Like if you believe, I mean, even previously behind the cigarette packets or behind cola and all, they would never mention what are the side effects. Nowadays you have to mention, okay, certain things you have to mention, but still they advertise it as one of the best things what is there. Then you have something called as cherry picking data, selecting specific data points or time frames that support a particular narrative while ignoring data that contradicts it. This practice can mislead viewers by representing an incomplete or a biased picture of data. Now, cherry picking is what, you only correct take the right cherries. Okay, you only take the good cherries. The bad cherries you throw out. That is a simple meaning over here. So the good things you'll pick up and you'll show as your strong points, and the bad things you will try to cover up. Suppose a company wants to highlight an increase in customer satisfaction to support a new marketing campaign. They have customer satisfaction data over 10 years, but the overall trend is relatively flat. Flat means it is the same. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy with that ice cream. Okay, fine. There's nothing great. With some fluctuation. But cherry picking data from only those years that show increase can be a misleading visualization. So look at this graph. Year 1, year 2, year 3, you can see. Now, this is the ethical graph if you're showing. Now, what they have done is they have taken year 2 because it is 80, year 4 has 81, and year 8 has got 81. So they have shown you only pointed this. They have not shown you like this, that there has been a dip and there has been a rise. So this is how people actually, show. So only these 3 years they show, and they say, yeah, between years it was okay. We had a flat, customer satisfaction. This is what happens. So cherry picked might also include data from 4 to 8, where the satisfaction scores are higher. Ignoring the years means they don't want to show a dip. They don't want to show a dip anywhere. These dips they don't want to show. They only want to show this rise. So look how the graph can look totally different. Okay, the graph which is ethical and graph which is cherry picked. Okay, so includes only data points from 1 to 10. It shows a complete picture of this. Ethical shows a complete picture. Actually, this is what you should show to your customers. Why there was a dissatisfaction? Was the product not good? Were people not happy with your product? Okay, but in ethically visualization includes only, in cherry picked is only 2, 4, and 8, and omits the low years with lower satisfaction. They're not showing you only. So what you will feel, correct, no, I can see a straight line. There's nowhere they have a dip. So this type of misleading visuals should not be allowed when you are actually working with any kind of data. Lack of content, presenting data without sufficient contents can lead to misinterpretation. That means you have not collected that data only. Now, suppose if you are doing what is the impact of sugarcane juice on summers with people, because sugarcane juice is something which may create some stomach upset and all those things. And if you take only adults, then what about children? So are you just ignoring them? So you're not putting the data. Viewers might draw incorrect conclusions if they do not understand the broad situation or contributing factors. Okay, so when you're trying to study any, like for example, insurance company, so insurance for everybody or insurance for a particular sector. Now if you're taking only males, then you have to consider all the age group of males taking insurance. Okay, so you cannot say, otherwise you have to specify only for this age group you are studying. In that age group also you should not make any kinds of biases, and you have to collect all types of data. Insufficient annotations, failing to provide necessary labels, legends, or explanation that help viewers understand the visualization. So when you're visualizing, when you're showing, this content has to be clearly defined. This is the visual. This is what we are trying to show you. Okay, you should not, just leave out some annotation. Annotation means marking something. Okay, this is what it should be. Okay, so that should not happen. In omission of contents, I think here's one example is there. Presenting data without sufficient contents can lead to misleading interpretations. Now, health organizations want to show the number of flu cases over the 3-month period to highlight a significant increase. They represent the data in a simple bar chart without providing additional content like vaccination rate, seasonal trends or public health. Like for example, month 1 50 cases, month 2 150 cases, month 3 300 cases. Now let us, they are not telling whether this happened in the summer, whether this happened in the winter, whether this happened in the rain, or was there any epidemic in that. Was they were not giving vaccines to people, so they are not giving any information. They are just saying that flu over 3 months was like this. They should also say after we did all these things also the flu was that way. So, or we didn't do first month only we gave vaccine, second month and third month we didn't give vaccine to anybody. Then how it will work? So you should not omit any data. Whatever is required for that information you should be able to give. Visualization text is to provide additional content. This is how the data represent more informative. Now, first month, second month, third month, previous month, what was it? Previous to the first month, how many cases have you studied? Okay, current year is this. Previous year, how much it was? Previous year we had 100 cases. Third third month also we had 250 cases. So what was the vaccination rate? What is the percentage of population? What are the number of texts you did? So these all are important when you're talking. By providing this context, viewers can better understand that the increase in the reported flu cases must be influenced by the decrease in vaccination. So you have decreased the vaccination, then how can you expect people not getting flu? This comprehensive approach helps to avoid misinterpretation and provide a clear and more accurate picture of the solution. Here I have not given anything. Data integration and accuracy. Inaccurate representation. Using incorrect data, mislabeled access, or misinterpretation of data can lead to false conclusions. Okay, you collect wrong data. Like for example, all the data we need is for people who are above 18 years old, but you have collected some people from 13, 14 age. Then it is incorrect data. Simplification versus accuracy. Oversimplification data to make the visually appealing can sometimes strip away essential details, leading to misleading interpretation. So you want to simplify, you want to show very simple data. So you remove all the complications. So this may not give the right information to the user. Cultural bias can be there. Designing visualization that are not considered culturally color perception, symbolism, or reading patterns. Okay. So you have to think about for whom you are designing this. Understand the culture of those people, and you should not be doing something which is against their culture, their beliefs, or whatever their ideologies are. Okay. Then algorithm bias, visualizing data from biased algorithms without addressing the underlying bias can perpetuate misinformation. That means you have a biased algorithm. Okay, biased algorithm is what? Like you are writing for insurance or for a loan, and loan it says that if the person is having no government job, no loan, no option. So the person only gets an information, you are not eligible for a loan. So why are you not eligible for a loan? That should be actually, and the algorithms when you design, you should not allow any biases to happen. Anonymity, data visualization, this is under privacy and confidentiality. Data visualizing data in a way that inadvertently relieves sensitive information or personal information can violate privacy. So, whenever you are collecting any data, if you have taken the name of the person, the age of the person, the address of the person, this should not be given to anybody, and you should not violate this privacy of a person. Granularity is providing too much detail in visualization can make it possible to identify individuals in supposedly anonymized data set. Now, if you are giving very clear detail, like the person is from this location, this place, then you know, like for example, in HIV/AIDS, they wanted to do. So you cannot say that this area. That means that area gets highlighted, and those people are the ones. Then their identity is released. That they are the ones who are actually the area having a lot of HIV/AIDS. So this type of problems can actually happen. Meeting got over. University. What you decided?
Maybe there's 5 options here. I think that was on Monday. I was hesitant. But then I'm not sure. So in
Okay.
case now I go and told me even the next exam again. Twice of the time. I've taken human rights. It's not compulsory to all human rights. You can choose. It's a same, it will be a similar thought. No,
Okay, show me. Okay, then you have responsibility and accountability, authorship, taking responsibility of the visualization created and being accountable for their impact. That is very important. When you are a data scientist, you are presenting somebody, you are giving the data to somebody to present. That person who is presenting is not, means, who may not be the author of who has done all this work. So whenever you are taking any responsibility, whatever visuals you have created, you should be responsible for those visuals, because those visuals are being transmitted to the viewers, and the viewers are going to take a decision on those visuals. So you should not be, saying that I am not accountable for it. Feedback mechanism, establish channels for feedback and correction to address any issues or inaccuracies in visualization. So if there is, you have to have a feedback. Like, people should be able to give you back a feedback saying that, oh, I think this culture does not match to this, or this is wrong. This is not the way we want it to be represented. We are not happy with this color. We are not happy with certain, uh, certain schemes that you have given. So these type of things have to be, taken into consideration under responsibility and accountability of whatever data that you are actually visualizing with others. Then you should have the ethical standards and guidelines. Adhere to the guidelines. There are a lot of professional organizations like the Data Visualization Society or relevant academic bodies. Find out which are those bodies and see that you're not violating any of them. If you need some permission from them, you should take those permissions, and then you should be using this. Continuous learning, staying informed about ethical issues and emerging trends in data visualization to continuously improve practices. So that is also very important. You should be continuously looking out what orders the governments are giving. You should be learning their procedures. You should be checking out what kind of information is actually required by the the authorities which are looking at. Okay, I think what I have done is up to here, data visualization. That is what I have done, and data visualization. Yeah, data visualization. This is very important because everybody wants to see visuals. So that is why it is very important. So next time I will do Sunday. I will 99% try to take ethical issues in machine learning. I will take from here. By then I have given you the questions. I've given you the questions. Please answer the questions. What are there? Is that okay to everyone? Hello? Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
Or I am only talking something? So I will stop here for today. I'm doing little, but this chapter is very small. I've given you the questions and the question paper pattern also. If I don't know whether I put up, you can check it out. Okay. You can put your attendance and you can leave for the class. Any questions? Please mark your attendance and leave. Hello. Are you there? I think I'll sing a song from Hello, is it me you're looking for? Put your attendance and leave.